So when Rob Manfred had his press conference,
Mm.
I texted you. I said, "Are you watching this?" You're like, "No, I'm in the middle of something." Like our cat has been gone for 24 hours. I'm like, oh, and I got like a pit in my stomach.
Yeah.
I'm not we're dog family, but still I love animals. And particularly when they're not outdoor cats, I was very worried about Donnie. Thankfully, that is the most amazing picture. Please, everybody go to YouTube. If you're audio only right now, go freeze it and go ahead. I don't know how many minutes we're into this thing, but whatever it is, go find the picture of Donnie that we're putting up there right now.
It's also on my Twitter in like the last 5 tweets, so you can see it. But when you call his name, then he just turned, but like didn't move. It's hilarious.
Right. So give us the abbreviated version of where you found Donnie.
So in my house, we moved into a new house in October, so there's still places that we don't know about. And on our third floor, it is like we have crawl space. It used to be an attic, so like it's kind of like a shallow. The room I'm in now, it's like kind of a short, lower ceiling and like arched a little bit. On both sides, there's like an edge, and then it's like 3 feet of space, and there's crawl space back there. And so one of two things happened. I came home. I came home from a massage, so I'm super relaxed too, which that changed in a lot of ways. And the garage is still open. I forgot to close it. He goes out in the garage sometimes, but he's usually like afraid to go outside. So I didn't think anything of it. I looked around to see if he was in there. No. I go, "Hey, Kate, have you seen Donnie in a bit?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I saw him just a little bit ago." I was like, "Oh, okay, we're good." Close, think nothing of it. Closed the garage. I came back. About 9:30. We're going to bed, and usually he comes down. Elsie, our older cat, sits behind us, like in her heated bed. She never leaves when we're watching TV. But usually Donnie comes and sits across from us in his own chair, and he just didn't come out. And didn't come out for dinner either. So I was like, "No dinner." You saw him. He doesn't miss dinner. So I was like, "Where's Donnie?" So Kate's like, "Oh, I saw him like earlier today." I was like, "When?" She's like, "1." I'm like, "It's 9, 8 hours." So we go outside. We're running around calling his name. Doesn't come out. I'm exhausted from a long, long day. I got up really early to do something. And so I get for whatever reason, I start panicking. I'm like, why can't we, like, what happened? Oh, the garage door was open. Oh my God, he got out. And I just started spinning. So we go to bed that night, hoping he'll come back. Woke up in the morning, don't see him, go out. We start putting food outside to try to get him to come back. So that whole day I go that morning, print out a bunch of stuff, a bunch of lost cat posters, because our neighborhood is very, very close knit, but we're not. We have it. So we met everybody. We walked to their doors. We knocked on doors, like, "Hey, we're missing our cat." Hey, no. So people were out like saying Donnie, like calling his name, because he loves people. So they're basically everything. I like hired a service to like telemarket people and tell them our cat was gone. Like I spent all the money. I got some GPS trackers. I'm like, find this idiot. I'm putting these on them, and they're never taking them off, so I know where they are every 3 seconds forever. Because I was like, I didn't know I loved him this much. I didn't know it was like this. I felt like I lost my child. So we're like, everyone said, go out late at night. If they're hiding, because the cats are hiding, they're always like a 2-3 blocks away max, especially if they're indoor. They got chased under something. They're terrified to leave. So if you walk around and they hear you, they can't, like, cars going by and dogs barking and stuff. It's just like they're not going to come out. But if it's quiet, really quiet, like 11 midnight, and they hear you, they're much more likely to come out. So we're going to go out that night. He's been gone for 36 hours. As we're leaving, we're literally stood up. I'm putting on my shoes. We hear, like, it sounds like he jumped off a bed. So I'm like, I run upstairs. Nothing. Did you hear that? She's like, I heard it too. I'm like, are we imagining him being here because we want to? Right when I go, are we imagining a weird meow? I'm like, he's in here. Where is he? So we're like, Kate's like calling his name and like stomping around. I'm like, be quiet. I can't hear. Sounds like he's outside. So what had happened was we have a shed that is attached to our house. One of our furnaces is in there. Yeah. The door was cracked open when I went out there earlier that day. I was like, well, how long has this been open? Because people go in there all the time. We're always having stuff installed. I'm like, I go and look. He wasn't in there. So I go upstairs, can't hear him. It gets quieter. Go to the kitchen. Sounds like he's outside of the kitchen. So I go out there. I'm like, is he in that room? I open it up again. Nothing. I'm in there for 5 minutes. I'm like, dude, Where is he? Is he in the base? Because we have a crawl space underneath the house too. So I'm like, I open that up. I'm like, Donnie, nothing. I silent. 5 minutes goes by, nothing. So I'm like, am I insane? Are we both insane? And then I look in, I look up, and his head's peeking up over this. So the cinder block wall, there's a 4-inch gap between a 2x4 and a cinder block wall. And instead he's like, Dad, I got stuck in here and I can't get out. So what I think happened is he went out the garage. He just snooped around the house. He went in that door. He climbed up on a shelf. Was like, hey, what's back here? Got stuck in there. And then you can like climb up, kind of like Plinko your way up. And what had happened was he went up. And when we were calling him downstairs, we couldn't hear him. So he tried to come back down and he fell. So you heard him go through the wall. And he had this little area back there that he had been just like curled up in, but he could not get out. So Kate had to come in and lasso him with because he's so fat. So she had to lasso him with a yoga strap and pull him through the gap. We got him. I burst into tears. I have no problem admitting that. I was like, thank God. I grabbed him and I held him and he was like clinging to me. And I was just like, thank you so much for not being dead. I said that out loud to him and Kate just crying, laughing, but like took him inside and I just like, you are not allowed to ever leave ever again. And he was really shaken up. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't do anything for about a day. And then the day after, and then the next day, that morning, he came to me. He's like, I'm so hungry, Dad. And he crushed his food. And now he's been great ever since. But Elsie, the older one, was like, man, it was really nice for a day not being chased. No, she was living her best life. She was like, hey, guys, he's gone. I can walk around the house again without being pounced on.
I'm sorry. That's no good.
But she now she's like, great. Now he's here tormenting me again. And we're like, hey, we love both of you a lot, especially him.
I'm happy that Donnie has been. I was worried. I felt sick for you.
I was. That's I don't know how I would have handled him.
I wanted to text you. I was like, God, do I text him? Do I not text
We were
him?
thinking, I was like, I'm not going to spring training until we find him. She's like, okay. And I'm like,
maybe that's why the negotiations were delayed.
Maybe
in honor of Donnie.
Secretly, guys, they did that out of deference for me.
Who knew? Rob Manfred, cat lover.
Huge cat lover. It's kryptonite.